Hey everybody, thanks for clicking on this video. Today we're going to be looking at plotting polar coordinates. Don't forget to click that subscribe button to see all the videos that we have coming out from this channel. If you want to follow along on this video, the links to the companion worksheet, they're in the description below. So let's get started. So when we plot polar coordinates, we're given different information than what we would normally use with x and y in Cartesian. And so we have two pieces of information. Now, depending on the textbook, the order will differ, but it really doesn't change how you approach this. One of the numbers is going to be an angle, and that's going to be this one, 5 pi over 3. This one is in radians. And 3, that's the distance from the origin. So what you want to do first is you want to first give yourself an origin, so give yourself an x and a y-axis, but don't label anything. Don't give any increments for x or for y. We're not really dealing with that idea yet. So the next thing is sketch what the angle would be. So 5 pi over 3 is right there. There's 5 pi over 3. And then what we say is, well, okay, we need 3 spaces away. So what I do, what many textbooks you'll see, is they'll mark 1, 2, 3 and put that point right there. And they put the marks here to say, okay, I moved 1 space, 2 spaces, 3 spaces along this angle. And so there is our point, 3 comma 5 pi over 3. And that's how we plot points in polar. So let's look at the next example. So with number 2, our angle is 5 pi over 6. So if I draw my axes, and then my angle, 5 pi over 6, that's going to be over there. And so we're moving 2 units along this line. So 1, 2. So there's our point, 2 comma 5 pi over 6. Now the third one, this is where people most often get confused by. So our distance is a negative. Now how can distance be negative? Well, don't think negative, think opposite. That tends to help a little bit. So here's pi over 4. Now, what if the distance were, what if it were positive 4? Well, we would say 1, 2, 3, 4, and we plot our point right here. But it's negative. That is opposite. We're going in the opposite direction. So actually, what you have to do when you see an angle, when you see a distance like this, is you actually have to sketch this going this way, because we're going to sketch going backwards. So -1, -2, -3, -4. So we just plot going the other way, the opposite direction. So this is -4 comma pi over 4. Now on the next page, they give us a negative angle. Now negative angles, hopefully we've seen before, but as a reminder, angles just measure rotation. And a positive angle will rotate from the x-axis up. And so 3 pi over 4 would be right here. But we're rotating from the x-axis down. So -3 pi over 4 is right there. There's -3 pi over 4, pointing into the third quadrant. And then we're moving 6 units along this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. So there is our polar point 6, -3 pi over 4. Just like that. And then finally, for number 5, we have 9 comma 0. Now following the convention that I've been using, I've always been putting the distance first, which means the angle we have is 0. So where's that? Well, that's just right along the x-axis. We're not really rotating up or down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's my point in polar at 9 comma 0. So this is how we draw points in polar. Draw our axes, draw the angle, and then along the angle we mark out the distance that it tells us. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. You have suggestions or problems you want to see worked out, type a comment below. To support the channel, click the Patreon link to help keep this going. Thanks so much for watching. And remember, the best way to understand something is to do it.